All right, we're going to bring Villa on from Brella. Villa, how are you? First of all, it's been a little while since I've seen you.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good. Spring is coming in Finland, and yeah, it's been a while. I think it was exactly 9 months ago since we were running the first virtual shakeup together. So a lot of things have happened, but good things mainly.
And have you been listening in today? And what did you think of all the sessions that have been put together?
Yeah, I've been listening the whole time. And first of all, thank you, Heather. Thank you, Rolf. I think you're amazing hosts, super engaging conversations. And then also thank you for the speakers. So, and what I was sensing since the first virtual shakeup, now there were a lot of confidence, a lot of energy. People were more kind of aware, this is what we're going to be doing. We have a plan. We already know that this going to work, or we're going to experiment something. But there were a lot of interesting topics. I made notes. I learned it from you, Ralph, in the first event. You told me that makes as many notes as you can, and I did. And then for me, first of all, when we started with Forbes, with Alison, it was pretty amazing to see like how they're using the artificial intelligence to group people and put them into certain silos in order to provide the right kind of content. And then I think that's pretty genius for any event organizer. Like, because also like what we are learning from some of our clients, that they are putting people into smaller groups in the future. It's not necessarily going to be like a massive gathering, rather more concentrated group around certain topics. And at the same time, when Lauren was speaking about the different event elements, and she mentioned the robot sponsorship. So I was envisioning, Ralph, you going around the venue, speaking to people, and then also thinking about that would be a great experience to network with people. What do you think, Ralph? Would you do that?
I think I could duplicate myself. You know, this is the way to make more passive income, isn't it? It's a great idea. Yeah, just tell me where to sign up.
Yeah, I wonder who builds those robots. I would love to have a conversation. And one more thing, what I want to mention from the Diane's presentation or the fireside chat, because like obviously there is so much discussion around hybrid all the time. People are wondering what we're going to do, when are we going to do, and she was so calm. Like, well, we've been running hybrid events since the beginning. Always had a hybrid approach, and then she said like pandemic was an opening for them. So like, yeah, we had to do changes, but then a lot of changes. So we decided, okay, let's do them all at once. And we need to be digital first, but at the same time, think about the people, because at the end of the day, it's people's business. So really inspiring discussions there.
And what a great summary as well. Heather, before I put you on the spot with your top 3 things, I spotted a few things. So Rafa, in his presentation, was talking about how sponsorship was actually going back up. So he was doing pretty well with that, but ticket price was going down. And he talked about a $4,000 ticket that was now $195. But I thought that was really interesting. For me, and a lot of the events I've been involved in the past, sponsorship makes the world go round, or sponsors make the world go round. So no different there. I loved Jim's comment actually about IRL into URL. If you don't speak the lingo there, so that's in real life into basically being online or digital URL, as in a web address. I kind of like that phrase. I might use that some of our team calls. And then lots of talk about Clubhouse and access as well. So I've long thought that this is a great way to meet people, to make connections really quickly. And particularly if you are focused on sales, it can be really efficient in terms of qualifying, or I guess actually Jim's point about finding good speakers. I have a little bit of a mixed reaction to Clubhouse, I think. I mean, I've been on there a few times and there hasn't really been anything interesting going on, but that's part of the fun. It's sort of discovery. But Heather, what did you enjoy? Because you did all the work, really. You were interviewing a lot of these people. So what do you remember, first of all? What was good?
So, and I will have to say this has been my most challenging group of speakers I put together, and it was really amazing going out to them and how open they were to participate. But again, as I mentioned in the beginning, my goal was to really I wanted to just open up the Camino to what really needs to happen. And community, how do you build strong community? It's not just a word. content. It's not just about getting speakers, and it's understanding your market and having that deep expertise, authenticity to build that trust in your brand. I was really shocked about the brand poll where 73 or 78% said we could do better. Like, what are we doing? Like, your brand is everything. And what's going to, and when Tonya comes on tomorrow with this Edelman Trust Barometer study, basically people's trust in government and, media has gone down the tubes, and they're now looking to brands and CEOs to guide the way. So as a media company, you better address that. And how can you do that? And how can you help your sponsors do that and your customers? So, so those things came out the most. And what didn't come out was, we have to go back to in person. This is what it's going to look like. It was about, what's our business? That's the future. And again, I love Jim and the Gen Z topic, because they're different, very different and challenging, and they are the future. So those are my takeaways.
Fantastic. Well, what a great job you did as well. Talking about tomorrow, Heather, let's just have a quick look at what we've got on tomorrow. So do you want to talk us through some of the sessions that are coming? You mentioned Edelman, which is a bit later on, and I see here as well, we've got Yanni, another co-founder, along with Villa and Jyrki at Brella. So Yanni's actually going to do a mobility session. What else have we got coming up?
So we have John Seifert, who, again, industry veteran. He's been working with a very tight community, before pre-pandemic, essentially ERP users, et cetera. And they have come up with a really interesting new model that is virtual in terms of getting their community together. And it has been very successful. He's actually going to walk us through what that is. I mentioned Tonya, who's coming out about the Edelman Trust Barometer. We have Kate Spellman, who's going to talk about the customer, the center of everything. And then I have David Adler, who I have to do a social post about him tonight. And I feel it's like I need to be in a salon in Paris, smoky salon with drinks talking to him. He is so fascinating. It's going to be a fabulous discussion about this change, fundamental change in the value events bring, and how, as an event organizer, you need to not only know your audience, but you need to know their psychology, their psychographics. Like, it's going to be awesome. And I don't know who else do I have coming in tomorrow.
Marissa Pick.
Oh, Marissa Pick. She, actually, interestingly enough, her father was president of BizBash for 10 years. And she worked there, but she is now a social media influencer, and she helps brands figure out who they need to connect with. And I think events are actually going to have to start connecting with social media influencers to extend into audiences they don't currently reach. We have our roundtables, which anyone who missed mine because we had a technical glitch, we're doing it all over again tomorrow.
I enjoyed the roundtable, by the way. Thank you to everybody who took part in ours. We were having a proper geek out about equipment and AV and all sorts. Now, you've also got Joe Paluzzi. So that's the Content Marketing Institute. What does Joe focus on? So
Joe is the king of content. I mean, Joe has Content Marketing Institute was his baby, and he made that into such a huge, successful brand event, you name it. But it's all about how to use content to attract and engage an audience. And his whole premise is do that first, like lean into that first, then your product comes. And I'll be honest with you, we had to pre-record this session because he wasn't available tomorrow, but hearing what I heard today, and what the pandemic kind of forced us all to do is listen to our audience. And then we got to know, he is so spot on. So it's going to be a great session.
And you mentioned Kate, but that's QuestX, who's spoken before, I believe, haven't they?
No, Paul Miller spoke before. He's the CEO. Kate is the CMO. Again, also somebody, I know, she's industry veteran, highly respected in the industry. But QuestX was on a journey pre-pandemic about building a 365 user experience using community, digital data, the events, and COVID accelerated. But she's going to give us an update of where they are, what new revenues they've been able to realize, where they see the business going in the future, and again, customer the center of everything.
Very good. So Villa, some interesting new features as well, Umbrella. As I said, I really enjoyed the roundtables. I think it creates a different dynamic where everybody can get involved. What are you looking forward to about tomorrow, and also, I guess, the next couple of months before we see people again at a virtual shakeup?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Good to hear the feedback. Of course, the breakout rooms are these kind of mini clubhouses inside Brella in a way, but with video, so trying to create that kind of environment. But yeah, there are a lot of great speakers coming up tomorrow, what Heather mentioned, so I'm gonna make so much notes tomorrow, as well as I have already scheduled 9 meetings. So I'm gonna win the battle of having the most meetings in this event, and if somebody will beat me, I have a surprise gift. And as a matter of fact, today I had a meeting with one guy. He's running this startup called Pickles, and he said that this is going to be the next big thing when it comes to event engagement and art. So that was really insightful conversation. So really excited about this opportunities for tomorrow to meet also new people.
I'm glad you mentioned the prizes, because we talked about it right at the start, but there are some prizes from Brella for the most engaged delegate, if you will. And obviously you can't win because you're from Brella. So
I understand.
We're going to have to remove you. I'm sorry. The Brella hoodie or whatever it is, the prize. Yeah, we'll have to find out what the prizes are. Well, listen, guys, we're that's it for day 1. So we'll be back tomorrow. Check the Brella agenda for the exact timing, because Brella is always up to date, or should be always up to date with your time zone. And please, if people have requested a meeting with you, make sure you accept, if nothing else, just to beat Villa there with the number of meetings. But Heather and Villa, absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. I'll see you tomorrow for some more virtual shakeup.
Thank you.
Thank you.